Call the meeting of the Edward Farrar Utility District to order for Wednesday, August 12th, 2026 here at the Steel Room. First up, although it's to approve the agenda. There's an amended agenda. We added a couple things that Woody wanted to bring up that was posted in time. Are there any additions or alterations to that agenda that you wish to make?
The only thing I added in there was another one leak for Clinton Vidal, or a continuation. It's on there, okay. And then I did make, oh, that's there. There was last time I had executive car wash and Spillane confused. So executive car wash and then one for Chip Spillane. I think it was Chip.
You got Lowell and Molly Spillane?
It was for the one that was not executive car wash. Yeah, Lowell and Molly.
63 South.
Yeah.
Well, we just added Molly.
Okay.
Explain under the 525. Anything else?
May I speak on behalf of the public? Or do you want?
Yes,
We'll go after you are finished.
We're gonna come to public.
Okay. I just.
They were reversed in the.
No
agenda,
problem.
So,
Thank you.
So having the Lowell and Molly explain to the under the one leak rule. The motion to approve the agenda with that addition.
So moved. We approve the agenda as amended.
Second. Motion is made and seconded to approve the agenda with the addition of Molly Lowell's Colony under the one leak rule. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Now we're on to the public. You have something to speak about that's now.
Just a couple of quick questions.
Sure.
Valerie Rogers, standing okay?
Sure.
Everybody
Well,
has different things. Okay.
still do something.
Good to stand. I just have a question. According to the website, Karen is still the district clerk and treasurer. I'm wondering, is she really our district?
No, he's not.
So who is our district?
We don't have one.
Okay.
We have a treasurer.
We do.
Bill's the
We
treasurer. Bill
Interim.
Chapman.
He's an interim.
Okay. So I don't remember that happening at a public meeting.
We appointed Bill that. But, yeah. It was at one of these meetings where Karen was taking minutes before.
Okay, sure. I can go back and talk about that. So he's doing all of our financial responsibilities for the interim, and the clerk is just taking its time. Okay. I did see that there's roles and responsibilities on there, so I don't want to duplicate. I did have something a little bit separate than that, if I can just ask, and if it's not appropriate, you can tell me no.
Sure.
Okay, it's about the discussion about our organizational chart for the role sharing that was discussed back in March and then again in May with the select board. Is that part of what you're working on? Is the organizational chart of, like, you know, who's working for who?
When the manager gets here.
So
Yeah.
that's I was asking about EFUD though. Your roles. and
Well,
responsibilities.
there were some, yes. There were some interactions, so we'll be correcting that much.
Okay, because I think what I believe to be true is that when the select board and the municipality move forward on a manager, you used to have the same manager and you decided, and I'm just learning, like, based upon the new managers only for the municipality, that you have an interim manager for EFUD. And I don't remember when you had a meeting saying that you were not gonna be part of a shared manager. So I'm just wondering, what meeting was it discussed where EFA commissioners decided not to continue with a shared manager? Understanding that Bill is interim until further notice. So I'm asking more about when the public decision was made to not continue on with the shared.
It was one of the meetings I went to with the select board when they were formalizing their search committee and what they were gonna do and working on the job description that.
I do know that your charter does, of course, allow you to employ a manager. But it does have to be, whether you decide to not have a shared manager, whether you decide to have someone the manager, it is part of your charter, but you still have to be open with the public. So I was asking more about which meetings did these happen at? And it sounds like it might have happened at a select board meeting versus a PFAC meeting.
Well, we had alerted them that we were not with the.
I just would say respectfully that that kind of communication should be more to your ratepayers in a meeting, in an open meeting.
Well, we had to discuss, I don't remember the meeting, we discussed it in several meetings about whether we would join in the search for the new manager. We decided not to.
Well, there was, I do remember lots of discussion. I don't remember there being an action made, like a vote, a motion. I'm more of a process.
I understand, I don't know that in that case we needed to have a motion.
If you would look into that, I would appreciate that. Or I can send it to you in an email.
Well, we had an interim manager at the time. And so we just,
Didn't want to change.
we weren't. Yeah, we just.
I'm talking more about transparency to your ratepayers.
I understand, this is set out now in a meeting, I remember, I don't remember the meeting. That we just decided not to, join in the search. I don't remember.
If you could just pull up that and let me know. I'm pretty good about attending. I'm very good about minutes. And I'm very good about Orca. And I don't recall an actual vote, a motion, or an action. And I just think it's processed for me. And it's pretty easy to follow process. So I appreciate you listening to me.
Anyone else under public? Yeah.
I had asked to preface, this is Tyler Stratton from Stone's Throw Pizza on Stowe Street. And Tyler has come in front of the UDAG loan committee.
I'm just gonna sit down here.
With a request, and I just wanted to put a name to a face and have him not lay out what we've been dealing with at the UDAG loan committee, but just you folks are the eventual yes or no. Just thought it'd be nice to introduce him and let him have 5 minutes to talk about his business, where he's going, what he's done.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. And thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
Very nice to be in front of you all. We're asking for let's call it a re-up of the loan that we have with Edward for our utility district. We've been a borrower for the last 3 years. Reliable payer of our loan. In that period of time, we have been in a ongoing property dispute with our neighbor, who we do not own the property. We are just a lessor. But the relationship to that neighbor has impacted our ability to do business there. Historical use of the building for decades was the use of a back area that would allow for takeout. In April of 2023, after being open for only a few months, we had that area blockaded by the neighbor who asserted property rights. And we have spent a lot of time and money to legally get through a process of allowing us access, and unfortunately some missing paperwork that shows access and easement of what is a subdivided property has brought us to a point where we have signed a lease to have access to the parking we need, and those expenses our need to reinvest into that location to bring it to facilitate the sales that it can do. Something that has been demonstrated to the UDAG committee and is the reason for us coming back to the table. The reason I phrase it as I call it a re-up is that say an addendum to this that would allow us access to our original loan amount wouldn't impact our debt service. And it wouldn't, as a new loan would, create greater risk on the lender side. So, yeah, forgive the, I'm just proofreading it. I had all of minutes to write this as I was trying to get here today. It is not EDAG, it's UDAG, not EFOOT. I just put EFOOT and UDAG together in my mind. And there's a little grammatical error in the second paragraph and first paragraph. But the bones of our intention here, and I'll let the committee speak on this, but the dramatic impact that this has had on our access to do business there is it can't be underlined in any uncertain terms. And we, having now gotten access, this is what we need to make it work again.
So you made a formal application?
Well, Bill, answer that one.
Well, there is no real formal application.
It's kind of it.
Something that John will speak to today, but
You submitted a request?
the letter of intent and he's come before the UDAG.
Yes, and that again answered what information, what questions, and I'm happy to answer any questions that this committee has.
Well, that's fine. You've met with the advisory committee.
Yes.
And they've asked for more information. Is that not correct?
They have?
Yeah, we met again this morning and asked for some more information, and it was just happenstance. A lot of communications happened with Tyler today. Knowing that you met, it was kind of just if he wants to come down and say hi.
Yeah, this is fine.
He knows there's no decision being made tonight or any of that.
you're just letting us know what's going on, and that's,
Yeah.
sure, right.
Yeah.
So we don't want to get the cart before the horse.
Yes.
Right, yeah, okay, thank you.
I think some of the desire to be here and be in front of you is that this process, it doesn't really have a formal application process like you highlighted. And the discussion of this has been over several months, I believe, at this point, with the UDAG loan committee. And there is opportunity cost on our part, particularly as we reach our tourism season. And that's what I've kind of described to Bill today and Charles Grenier is whatever I can do to get in front of and be a face to this. We don't want to miss our opportunity. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You're working with the right group to be
All right.
a contact person.
No. Thanks for speeding things up.
Yeah, you got it.
Thanks, Tyler.
Next up was the minutes of the meeting of July 8th, 2026.
They're not, I can't find them online.
Oh, are you serious? Did I not print those off?
They're not printed, but they're also not, I can't find them online.
I looked at them and prepared the agenda.
July 8th.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Okay, I see,
Yeah.
I see my mistake. They're under the July date. Okay, that's my
Yes,
mistake.
yeah.
I see what I,
The other one, good takes you back to East Bud.
right, of course, okay, now I understand this, yes. Well, except, yes, I misread it. Got it, I see the minute. I figured for some reason that the July 8th minutes would be under the August 12th meeting.
No, yeah.
You know, that's why I was, okay, sorry.
Do you want me to go print them out?
No, I don't. Rick is practicing his speed reading. I just looked at him and prepared the agenda. I did.
I'm sorry that it didn't occur to me to the actual date.
And you read up or you?
No, I'm going to, it did not. So I'm going to let everyone else sort of sort out their
First
understanding. I'm
lefties that you
sorry.
needed.
Yeah.
Nor did I skip.
Well, we haven't read it, we can't really.
You wanna-
Well,
I'm
two-
going-
Now it's too bad.
Two people.
Put that off till next month.
I'm going to apologize
Oh,
for not having them. No, because it's property tax time.
Yes.
What's more important? The
Minutes.
town seems to think it's the property taxes.
No worries, Kaya.
No, move this to.
So am I putting it off till next month?
Yes.
Yes.
We'll
So did these
review.
been posted as draft?
Yeah.
Not approved?
Yes.
They're
They're on-
actually available.
They're
for-
there.
Yeah.
I just went to the
Oh,
wrong
that's right, you
spot.
just saw it. So it says draft, so that's completely appropriate and correct.
So we're agreeable to postponing the final approval of the minutes.
We'll review at the next meeting.
Yep.
Okay. Get for next month.
Next up on the agenda, I put on, review and discussion of what's required in the meeting minutes. that, I had thought Kyle was struggling at times to record almost every word for word. That's, not a requirement, so I looked under two, rules that were required, well, one we're required follows the open meeting law, which says what needs to be, in the minutes. So, the most important thing is the motions and who made the motions and who, if it's not unanimous recording, if there's a roll call, the date and things and recording the people who were there, but not the word for word. The word for word is all motion and motion. Word for word. The other document that we included is Robert's rules, which follow the meeting. Robert's rules. And number 48.2, when I read that, it says contents of the in ordinary society, the minutes should contain mainly a record of what was done at the meeting, not what's said at the meeting. So that's the important part of this. What we do is in the motions that we can talk about a lot of things, but it has to take some action. It can be recorded. There was a general discussion back and forth on this topic. No action taken.
Or action was taken, yeah.
Yeah. So anybody wanna
I agree with that.
comment on that or?
Just a,
It wasn't meant as a criticism of kind of just
No,
help that you don't have to, oh, who said this and who said that?
but your fastidiousness is a virtue, but make it easier on you.
okay.
Just a basic, seems to be a quick sentence or two. This is the issue that came up, was discussed. Here was the action that was taken.
Okay,
And we will, I think it's important to get motions correct.
Oh, yeah.
We
Motion.
may have you read back the motion before we vote on it.
well, whose motion do I take? Do I take the one that was made by, let's say, Rick? Do I take the one that you redo?
No, you take the one that was given by the person who made it.
Okay, okay,
His summary of it is.
I may
near it, but you don't.
suggest things, but it would be who made the
Okay.
first motion and then get who seconded.
And we'll get it straight. We'll make sure we get the language straight.
mhm.
No, you've done great, Kaya. Thank you very much. Well, now we make your life a little easier.
Mm,
You only have to write down what they do.
okay.
Don't forget it's being recorded.
And it's being recorded too.
Yeah.
So you've done great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
This means we can speed read them.
There you go.
Trying to make it easily and it's obvious sense.
Yeah, you want to record, what we need to record is what we do.
Sometimes we don't do.
So the Robert's rules and this, I guess this other thing, opening meeting law say the same thing.
Yeah.
Good clarification.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Kaya.
So we're, in spite of all our
Moving along.
difficulties opening, we're on track here for 5.
Hello?
We're good. Just some chit chat.
What was that? Discussion with the UDAG, the loan review committee on revisions and things and guidelines. Okay, person, so what do you?
Yeah.
So John Zimmerman is here and Ann Imhoff is online and both the UDAG loan committee members, as well as myself and John, if you want to come up to the table. And Ann, feel free to chime in whenever you'd like.
And we welcome your suggestions and things. Myself and Natalie have been, it started with the trustees, this UDAG thing. And it's been a EFUD responsibility since 2018. And, we knew that even in the beginning, that we were dealing with people who couldn't get loans from the bank. But anyway, we welcome your suggestions and look forward to working with you.
Well, my name is John Zimmerman, and I've lived in the area for 45 years, but 35 in this town. And I've also been in the commercial finance and lending industry as part of my career for that 45 years too. And I was invited to sit on the RW WATC. There's acronyms here that I'm going to try to keep that. And I've been doing that for about 4 years too. And then I was asked to, or I volunteered to sit on the loan committee because of my background. So I have about 3-4 years of loan committee experiences as well. And as I understand it, we've made recommendations, we've entertained applicants, and have reviewed them with everybody's input on the committee. There's 7 members, as is in the is in your policy document. And then pass that on to you folks for your interpretation, review, and approval as you see fit. In that process, it's become obvious to, I think, all members of the committee that things could be structured a little smoother and a little more consistently. They appear to have changed over time and a little patchwork, and it's okay. And I think the attitude and how the committee functions amongst each other is fine. They have an interest in the community. There's various expertises and talents presented. So I think we have a pretty good committee. My idea and purpose here, after talking with the folks, was to update the policy document that we use off and on from time to time. But it has some good stuff in it, and it needs to just be improved a little, I think.
Yep.
But part of the biggest improvement would be, and just heard from Tyler, who is our last applicant, we don't really have an application process, but certainly not a forum. a standardized form. So all the applicants would know what they're expected to present. And then that would assist us as the reviewers on the WADC Loan Review Committee to do a more thorough and systematic review of the information. And with the goal being that we would present that information more efficiently to you folks so you can make a better decision too. And that would be consistent from applicant to applicant as much as we possibly can. All the differences between the applicants, the subjective stuff, where you have to just, that would still be there, but it would be reviewed by the committee. The application form itself would be a more standardized form, requesting things like sources and uses as funds. What's your business? Where did you get the money to go it? What are you going to do with the money that you get if the EFUD board approves it? And what are you going to do with it over time? And how does the repayment process coincide with all those aspects?
And I'd add one more question.
Yes.
How does your application meet the objectives of the policy? Okay, that's the first part, is the overall policy. You're talking about maybe that needs an upgrade or an update, that's fine. But that'd be one more part of an application is,
Right, and that's my challenge. That's sort of what intrigues me to get in. I think I can make an application that fits with the policy really well with the help of all the committee who has more knowledge in some of these areas than me. But, my business experience, I have organizational design experience too. I think I can do a good job with the help of the committee. And the overall goal would be to present the committee's findings to the EFUD board as a proposal. Here's what we propose for the new adjustments to the policy. And by the way, here's an application form that fits with them pretty neatly too. And here's how the application was filled out. And here's how we scored it or graded or whatever system we would come up with for your consideration. All that by the end of the year.
End of next week.
and this sounds, may I restate what you said? We've talked over the short time I've been here, we've talked a number of times about updating the policy and, for lack of a better word, standardizing or more formalizing the process. And an application form that said that, as John says, it tells the applicant what the minimum amount of information they need to provide is, to support their application, what they're doing, as you say, sources and uses spreadsheet, or income statement, whatever, and pro forma, 5 years worth of expected, whatever it is we think it ought to be. That'd be great, with a policy that states what the purpose of the overall purposes of the monies, and how decisions will be made in conformance with that policy. I think that sounds great. What I'm hearing you say is that you and the committee will take a stab at drafting something that we can begin as a group together discussing, and at some point, of course, the E4 board makes it, then approves it. And we adopt that as our policy and application process. Is that what you're?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's issues, the stone's throw one is on our mind because it's live, but it presents a couple examples. They want to extend their loan. I think they call it re-up or whatever you want to call it. Well, it's not in your policy. What do you want it in your policy? I reviewed about half dozen or more from other towns in Vermont and other towns in New England and even New York and Pennsylvania. And some of them especially prohibit that. You got to apply, pay off your first one, and then I don't know, but that's what our committee is those are the
Those are the
ideas.
switches we flip,
Yeah,
you know, when we make a decision
yeah.
on the policy and application process.
Yeah. I think putting a little more structure in it is gonna benefit the applicants, it's gonna benefit our review committee, and it's gonna benefit you folks as the ultimate decider of who gets the money and how much they get. And that's my goal. If I fail in any of those, we're gonna fail, but I think I'll do good, I hope.
Well, it sounds like you're speaking for the committee as well, that you guys are gonna sit down and roll up your sleeves and do this. Or you, like Thomas Jefferson, are going to write the first draft?
I'll write the first draft and then it'll be subjected to the wrath.
Yes, of course.
But that's okay. I think that's the way it's gotta be done.
Yeah.
And I talked with Woody and the rest of the committee members, or 5 of the 7, this morning, and there was head nodding, like, go ahead,
Yeah, yeah.
and let's get on with it.
You can take that spark, make that spark happen,
Yeah.
start it
I
off.
mean, if you trip and fall, it's your fault.
Well, speaking for myself, I would be thrilled if you would take on that effort and move things along. I'd be happy to consult with you and, you know, answer questions whenever. I know Natalie and others have thoughts about this, but it'd be great, in my view.
Yeah.
I'm speaking for me.
In keeping with what we've just learned about minutes farming, I move that we request that the UAG loan committee review and propose updates to the policy
And loan application process.
and on that.
Was that a motion or?
Yeah, he said
Otherwise, it's not in the.
Did you get that, Kaya?
Bob moved to request the UDAG Loan Committee review and update the policy and loan application process.
I would just say, that's great. I would just say that it should be, Bob moved that we request.
That a friendly amendment?
It's a fair amendment.
Yeah, sure.
Is that what you want?
Super.
That we move to, okay, Bob moved that we request the UDAG Loan Committee review and update the policy and loan application process.
Okay, well then, no,
No?
that's fine, the way it's written, but they don't, the way that was said, it's not their policy and process, okay? So read it again.
Bob moved that we request the UDAG Loan Committee review and update the policy, and then you added, and loan application process.
They can review, but they can't update. So they need to. We're asking them to
Review
propose,
They present a revised policy.
present a revised policy proposal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
Yeah.
we want their,
this is what.
Every last minute, let's get it. Yeah.
So Bob moved that we request the UDAG loan fund committee, what's it called?
Well, I don't
The
know,
loan fund committee, aren't you?
yes,
Yeah, that's what it,
existing, yeah.
in the updated,
but that's fine.
we'll straighten out the naming too.
But right now, this is what you're called. The loan fund, the UDAG loan fund committee to review.
Review policy and application process.
Hang on,
Review and
To re-
suggest updates to.
to review the loan policy and application process and propose updates as appropriate. How's that?
Nice.
Want to make sure you all know who's responsible for what.
I got as far as Bob moved that we request the UDAG Loan Fund Committee to review the loan policy and application process and proposed updates.
And propose updates and revisions as appropriate.
Now, did Bob actually make that?
I do now.
To accept the friendly.
Okay.
amendment.
So Bob moved that we request the UDAG Loan Fund Committee to review the loan policy and application process and proposed updates and reviews as appropriate. Okay, Cindy seconded the motion, but I don't have to say that Cindy seconded the motion, right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, it has to be in the minutes.
Yes, but Cindy seconded. the
Okay,
motion.
so even though Robert's rules, I think, said it doesn't need to be there, but I will add it there.
Well, we
Okay,
want-
okay.
Let me just ask one question. The word, did you say propose or proposed?
Bob moved that we request, yeah,
Just the one word.
proposed.
No, there's no D there. We want them to propose.
Propose.
Okay.
It's just no D, that's all.
Okay,
That's all. Cindy seconded it.
Are you all set, Pat?
mhm.
So the motion has been made and seconded. I won't try to repeat it word for word. My previous discussion was meant to simplify the process, not make it more complicated.
Kaya doesn't have to repeat what you said.
Is there any further discussion on this? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. And someone, thank you for your.
Well, thank
Yeah,
you
that's-
first.
Look forward to it.
I will just add that we've been doing this for more than 30 years, this loan. So the last 6 years have been a lot of changes. So
Yeah.
this is
We're
coming
gonna
up.
hang on to the UDAG acronym, or is that gonna be retired?
You decide.
No, I'll propose something. Thank you very much.
Policy is actually the revolving loan fund policy.
Right, yeah.
It's not any-
That's right.
And it does have that.
Thank you.
Nice. It's on its way.
Good. So next up was Woody had asked to add this, the Thatcher Brook FEMA project that he's briefed us on from time to time and have a protection from erosion and future flooding and things. And there will be some funding requirements. So
Yeah, so Roy Schiff from SLR International Corporation has designed the project and been working on it for, boy, a couple of years at least, right, Roy? I mean, and Roy's office is right here in town, and I thought with the opportunity to pick his brain if he had any questions would be.
Roy did a lot of work after 2011.
Lots of flood work still going on, unfortunately. Yeah, thanks for having me. So I guess I could give like a really quick overview of the project. It seems like you all have talked about it and know it. The idea, and I will say I've been working on a project in Northfield, like protecting sewer lines right now. So it's just really common. Rivers are kind of seeing bigger floods and adjusting. And so a lot of towns are looking to protect sewer crossings and a lot of parallel sewer lines, exactly like we have along Thatcher. So the project has 3 components. And the idea of this is there's been historic filling along Thatcher just from us all being around it, roads and the sewer, and it's created a velocity hotspot that's very prone to erosion. And that's why there's a concrete encased crossing in a couple spots. And the rivers, because of that, the rivers cut down. So we did some modeling. There's been a lot of discussion about stabilizing the river, armoring the banks, and there's been several projects. We did a hydraulic model that showed if we can kind of like pull some of the fill out and create what's called a flood shelf, it drops the erosion potential in the brook, which essentially protects everything around it in a big flood. So the modeling revealed 3 alternatives. One is creating a shelf along the brook by excavating some fill. 2 is pulling back some of the existing rock a little further back to give the river a little more space. And then 3 is armoring essentially in front of the whole sewer line. There'll also be a little bit of concrete encasement in the sewer crossing itself, as that gets extended. So, the current status of the project, it's been going on for a few years. I always tell my kids, nothing's free. So when we get free money from FEMA, we have to pay in red tape, and we're paying. And we're about through the permit process. The Army Corps permit is out to notice, so that's going to be coming together. We've gotten a clearance from wetlands. We've got our local permits, and we've got a stream alteration permit in place. The project went out to bid a couple weeks ago. We got, or maybe a few weeks ago now, got some competitive bids, and Hilltop Construction was the apparent low bidder. Hilltop Construction, Colby Hop, and I did bring a summary of that. The apparent low bid was $529,000, which is pretty close to our expected project estimate. So there were
Apparent is a word that we use to qualify the low bid.
yeah, and the reason you say apparent is because there has not been a formal award.
Right.
So when a contractor sees the word apparent, so this list was generated the day the bids came in. You say the apparent or bidder. We did some reviewing of the bids. We called the top three. The second bid, notably, less than $1,000 difference in a $500,000 project. So very good grouping in the first several bids. Boulder Excavation, and the third bid, J. McDonald, a contractor you're all very familiar with from their work around town. We've worked with all three. In fact, we've worked with the top. Cutting Edge is the only one. Bellavance and Menage, we've worked with all these contractors before on similar type projects. So all pretty suitable. We've checked all their references, and the top three, the references are all really good for doing this kind of work. So I think right now the project sits with FEMA. This is a phased project. So phase one is design and permitting of the project. Put it out to bid. Phase two is actually construction of the project. And it's a way FEMA kind of breaks up the project to say, yes, this thing's legit. The design, we got competitive bids. So right now we're kind of in between those phases, awaiting your approval to bring the project to phase two. I think Woody has some forms to sign. And if it were to get approved tonight, that budget will be submitted to FEMA for the construction piece of the project. The contractor, the low bidder, is eager to get started. So I think another thing for you all is to formally accept the low bid. And if you have questions about the contractors, I did write a memo. I don't know if that memo has made it to this group or not.
I don't believe so.
Okay, so I can describe some of our debrief if you're interested to hear about the top three, or maybe the three lowest bidders. We kind of reviewed two or three, and they're all pretty competitive. So we can talk about that if you're interested. So I think that's a quick summary. Maybe pause and see if you have questions.
What's the total length of sewer line we're protecting?
It's a great question. I have the plans here. So the crossing itself is not that long. It's only about 50 feet. So the sewer is encased in concrete, and then we would add on 50 feet of concrete encasement. There's also an add-all that's built into the project, an extra piece. If they get to that sewer line and it looks really deteriorated, they're actually going to replace the sewer line while we have machinery area. There's a manhole right there, so pumping around will be pretty easy to keep the sewer active. And then let me just look at this plan. So the approximate length of pulling back the river would be, that's 300. It's close to like 1,000 feet of river, of stream bank.
Yeah.
So the sewer runs along the river, and we would pretty much pull back, create that shelf, and then armor all along the face of the sewer main that runs along the river. So it's super protected.
Can you reroute the river to some other part of town, because it goes right past my house and it always causes problems.
Yeah. Well, we looked at that alternative early on, and it's caught between a rock and a hard place, so to speak. We actually talked about rerouting it on the other side of the sewer line. There's ledge under Stowe Street, so we can't go on that side. So you're kind of stuck
No, I probably see it.
Well, we wouldn't change it down by you, but
Yeah.
the portion, we did look at changing it.
No, I know you said that, I know, I'm on Union Street.
Yeah.
So,
Who are the adjacent landowners on both sides of the street?
Well, the state of Vermont owns
The Emery?
the armory, yeah. And that's pretty much, I mean, Moran, Matt, is it Matt?
Yeah.
Owns down there, and I don't think that Charlie O'Brien house, old house comes in, so it's really only a couple landowners, you know.
May I ask a quick question? You
course.
said the project has three components: roads, sewer,
There's creating a flood bench
creating a flood bench.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then armoring the sewer line. And then pulling the bank of the river back in a really narrow spot.
okay,
So 3 components of the riverway. So
okay,
it's a combination of river and sewer protection work to ultimately reduce the risk and protect what's out there.
okay. Thank you.
So what are the time constraints seasonally can be done?
So it's a great question. It's almost like they're operating against us. We'd have to remove some trees, and we're coming up to the end of the bat hibernation season, so we're start removing those. We're supposed to be out of the water October 1st. However, given the bids were a little late and now we're kind of working through the FEMA timeline, which is always a little slower, we've kind of put some floaters out there with the state, like, can we push the project a little later? And the answer is yes. So I think we're going to be after the tree cutting deadline, so that will be fine. And there's only a very little bit of work in the river, and I think the state will allow us to do that. So, yeah, ideally we'll be, able to start this work and kind of work in September, and it's a shorter jobs. But again, it's a little, just the FEMA timeline's a little unknown. The second phase gets approved. And I should mention Vermont Emergency Management. They're the keeper of the gateway to the FEMA funds. So like we've been interacting with VEM, has been really helpful on the project. They submit the application to FEMA, comes back to VEM, comes to us, and then the project would get rolling.
What limits does FEMA have on the projects, construction projects, as far as percent?
Great question. I don't know if there's a limit. What I can tell you is we've been doing more and more hazard mitigation grant funded projects around Vermont. We've never had a project that's gone over budget for an unforeseen issue be denied. That said, we've never had it like double in cost. It's usually like another $10,000. We needed more stone in the spot, or we needed to put a fence up we didn't foresee, or something like that. So, we've increased budgets maybe by 25 to 30% and have not had any pushback on FEMA. It's not the money, it's really for them, it's the footprint of the project and like environmental and historic resource protection. Like the project starts expanding in length, which we do not anticipate that here. That's when the project really gets slowed down. If it goes over budget, there's a project budget request change form you do at the end of the project. They're pretty solid. I can't say definitively, but we've just never had those turned down. Yeah.
So you've given Woody your recommendation as to who we would award?
And I can give you a quick summary. So the 3 low bidders, Hilltop, Boulder, and J. McDonald. I can start with the third one, J. McDonald, well, they've done endless work around the state. I will say they're probably the most experienced of the contractors. Their bid was $46,000 higher than the other 2 bids. We see this with our bigger contractors around the state. They come with a little more overhead. They can mobilize more equipment and, maybe a little more experience, and maybe there's a foreman on the job. Boulder and Hilltop are both smaller operators. Boulder, based out of Morrisville. So they were, their bid was it actually was like $440 lower than the low bid. So very close bids. They traditionally have done like home building in the Stowe, in the central Vermont area. And then they've done some site work development and expanded their fleet. And they've been working around rivers. We did a floodplain restoration project with them on the Lamoille in Johnson area this year. They did a good job building that. And then Hilltop, we've worked with a lot around rivers. They've done a lot of bank stabilization. Again, smaller outfits, smaller crews, maybe a little slower on the work, pretty deliberate. Done a lot of work around rivers, small dam removals, floodplain reconnections and armoring. So comfortable working around rivers, and done like a little, both Boulder and Hilltop have done a little utility work around here. If this was a very big sewer job, I probably wouldn't recommend either of those, but because they're really just protecting the utilities and working around them, they've done that a lot. So that's why we think kind of any of those three can do the job well. Just kind of-
Where is Hilltop based
Saratoga.
No, they're local. They're in central. I want to say, I should know this. Their fill sites in West Berlin. Oh, I want to say like maybe Vershire or a little. We say maybe
They did Randolph.
Maybe Randolph, yeah. So like a little further away, but they'll mobilize the site. We've worked with them all around central Vermont. They tend not to want to go sort of further than like an hour, hour and a half from where they're based out of.
So you don't have one specific recommendation, those are your.
Yeah, I mean, all three, I think all three can do the job. And then I did check up 2 references. We asked for 2 references from each one. They all were pretty good. Jay McDonald gave the town and us because we worked a lot with them, which I thought was funny. Their owner's a friend of mine, just for transparency's sake. But yeah, I mean, they've all done good work, and I think they can safely work around the utilities. Again, like we've had jobs around the state where there's actually a lot of sewer repair, upgrades, moving the lines. You probably want a contractor that had worked around the sewer line and done a lot of utility work and water line work. That's not, in my view, that's not the case here. Like, locating the sewer line and excavating next to it and placing rock around it, that's a common activity for all of these contractors. So, my recommendation is you probably want to consider the low bidder, and they meet the budget. If you told me you wanted to consider like the second bidder or the third bidder, you'd have to kind of make some justification to that for FEMA. It's a little bit of a process, but I think, $40,000 and a $500,000 job isn't that big of a deal. So it's really, I think you probably could choose any of them.
Thing. You probably ought to go with the low bidder. You got to answer, like you said, the
Yeah.
question.
Just another hurdle to jump over, but it's not insurpassable.
Was there also a inspection contract with this?
There is,
That
so-
you folks would do?
Yeah, so we have a contract, the engineering work is under the first phase, and that's already been awarded. So that included construction oversight work. So, we'd obviously be working with the town, and Public Works and others, but we'll be, we're right here, so we can go out almost like, I'd say we go out a few times a week. As the tasks change, we would go out and make sure the contractors lined up to advance the project and make sure it's all buttoned up. We also send like daily reports, so you all would obviously get an update on how the project's progressing. We copy regulators on that. It kind of keeps everybody super busy, so it keeps them having to come to the site like every week. They just can, kind of read our reports and then call with questions as the work progresses.
So you have a recommendation?
Not having known the 2 lowest bidders, we asked Roy to check into him, and I'm happy they've come back positive. And as Roy said, if it involved a lot of pipeline or any, what I would call more technical work, I would be a little nervous, but I'm happy with the low bidder. I think they obviously put a lot of time into the bid. If the next lowest bid was very close, so I think they've done their work, and I would recommend we go with a low bidder.
Do you need a motion from us?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't say that in the agenda, actually, that's why I'm asking.
And Bill, what about
Well,
like the match component? Is that
Yeah.
something to bring up?
I think we need 2 motions, actually. One is to authorize accepting whatever bid at what the price was on your recommendation, and the recommendation of the EFUD district manager, and authorize him to sign a contract for that amount, and then what was We'll do that.
Well, as Roy just pointed out, there is a match.
Funding.
Oh, the funding.
Match component for this. Which there is money in your wastewater budget to cover.
What is our share out of that?
51, that sound right?
51%.
No, 51.
51,000, I think it's 10%, which is, yeah. So 529,800,
So 52,000.
it might be 52,980.
Yeah. It's in the paperwork that I will have to sign.
Yeah.
That is
It's 10%, 10%.
Yeah.
Do you wanna?
So the low bid, just to review, low bid, Hilltop, 529,800. I'll give this to you all if you want for the minutes. Boulder Excavation, 530,240, and then J McDonald, 576, even $576,000. Share this if anybody wants to use it in motion making.
All right, so I believe that.
Oh, hold on a second. I gotta get my cursor where it belongs. Oh, okay. Cindy, yes.
Move that we authorize the board for construction of the Waterbury Sewer project is the Farrar River full site construction and all in the amount of $529,800. And the second, that we authorize the EFUD interim manager to sign the contract.
There a second?
I second it.
Okay. I'll probably need a repeat. Cindy moved that we authorize the award for construction of the Thatcher Brook FEMA project to Hilltop Construction.
Of Randolph.
Okay, that's what I missed. Construction. Oh. Give me a second. Construction of Randolph in the amount of,
529,800.
thank you, and authorize the EFUD interim manager to sign the contract. That's what I've got. Bob seconded it.
So it would-
We used to have these, that we spend on a match.
Well,
But that's
that's
I
the
think I
second.
would sign the contract first, do the contract motion, and we can.
Okay. So we're gonna vote on this part first.
The motion has been made and seconded to, award the contract to Hilltop Construction in the amount of
29,800.
and to authorize the EFUD interim manager to sign the contract. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Now I think, thank you.
Thank you, Roy.
And here's the, I'll just leave this week. Makes sense.
Now we can authorize the local share is 10%, or,
Yes, I could find it here, but it is 10%.
and this was in the budget for,
I hedged my bets. I didn't know that would go this year. So yes, we can move some other manhole sewer line work around it.
And then 10% is subject to, if there's change orders and the price goes up, it's just a 10%. So I think we're, in our
Motion
motion,
to say
it's just a 10%.
You just say 10%. So come up with it.
To approve the EFUD share of the FEMA sewer erosion protection project at a cost of 10% of the FEMA construction cost. Approved. Good.
Natalie made a motion to approve the EFUD share of the FEMA sewer erosion project at the cost of 10% of the FEMA construction cost.
I would just say at 10%, you don't need to say cost of 10%. At 10% of the FEMA construction.
Yes.
So Natalie made a motion to approve the EFUD share of the FEMA sewer erosion project at 10% of the FEMA construction cost. Okay,
Part of the real thing, the sewer line erosion protection project.
Thatcher Brook Sewer Protection and Bank Stabilization.
Here, okay, so we have another friendly amendment. Let's just get it really right. what
Okay.
He said.
so it's not FEMA sewer erosion project. It is FEMA,
It is the Thatcher Brook
oh, wait a minute, the Thatcher Brook
Sewer Protection
Sewer Protection
and Bank Stabilization.
Project. Okay,
Okay.
You said,
Gotcha.
yeah,
the motion has been made and seconded to do all that. Do your 10% of that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes, so. thank you.
All right.
So does your company have more dogs or people in the office?
It depends on the day, honestly. You see at your neighbor's house, a lot of the dogs, sometimes they all stay there.
I missed some. Who were you with?
It's SLR Consulting, our office is over the reservoir.
And SLR doesn't mean anything.
No, we
Single
were,
lens reflex.
there you go, like that. So Bill, so I think signing that FEMA contract is key to get that process rolling, because that may take a little time. Hopefully they can expedite it, because the contractor is pretty eager to get started. We pushed them back a bit, so I might have to let him know, like, we're probably, once it goes in for VM, they'll tell me like what a good timeline could be.
Yeah.
We'll get that rolling.
I'll send it to you and VM tomorrow.
Okay, sounds awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, you make Alex happy.
Yeah, this one's, I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe this will be it, and maybe he'll feel he can retire now.
Yeah, he's been very helpful on the project the whole way through, so,
It's not nuance.
yeah.
Well, good. Thank you for coming.
All right, thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
thanks, Roy.
Yep, look forward to getting this implemented.
Yep.
Next up is our one leak rule projects here. You wanna,
who do you want to start with?
are we through with the executive car wash or?
Nope. No.
No, we're not.
So executive car wash, I did it based on the 2 previous billing cycles.
But
You didn't want that. You wanted it based on the same time period from a year ago.
Just because of the seasonality of that.
Yep.
business, Yeah.
Yes, so thank you.
Yeah. So if you base it on the 2 previous billing cycles, it is a request of $4,024.27 adjustment. If you base it on the same time period from a year ago, it's going to be an adjustment of $4,290.44.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Really close. It's good to know that it worked out that way. Thank you so much. I would still go with the time period from a year ago.
Yeah.
I think it's more representative.
Mhm.
It's a little more money that we'd be giving them, but that's what I was.
Okay, so I'm gonna go, this is for executive car wash. And you're approving the one from same time period last year?
Yep.
Last year from same.
Emotional.
time
You have to move these things, don't you?
But the
The thing to know about the one leak rule is that you get one leak, and then you're cut off. You don't get another one, I think it's 10 years. So if executive car wash is coming in, this is the way it's in the minutes of 1965 or something like that, but as I recall, but the purpose of the rule charging back from the prior to, giving relief back to what it was to earlier periods. The purpose of that is to incentivize people to fix their water systems right away. If they have one bad report, which we go to rhythm, but if they get two, then they haven't been paying attention to their stuff, and they need to. So the rates that they have to pay is based on a period of time before that was where they also had a leak. And that's the goal of it. So fix it right away.
So this leak didn't spill over into another billing cycle, or do we know that?
Well, if it did or it didn't, it doesn't make any difference, right? There's one leak.
No, well, we had this discussion quite a while ago. If a leak is in 2 billing periods, it's one leak, but it's 2 billing periods, and that's with Clinton Bedell.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't fast enough, I mean,
It just happened
it
to,
just
it
happened.
just happened to cross a billing period.
Yes,
Well, it's one of those that's like 3 billing period.
but that's.
And that's the kind of person that we're trying to. Land on.
Which one was the 3 billing periods?
The guy that it was the car wash. And they had 2 billing periods, and then there was whether or not third billing period. It was appeared to have continuing leaking. I recall, but I was a little bit confused.
Well, on the bottom, I did say if the leak spills over into the next billing period, May through July, I ask if you'd authorize me to make the second adjustment.
That'd be the third billing period.
Is it the third billing period? or just
Only the
second?
first one. This is for February 1st through April
So
30th.
Right, but there's somebody who could, then, okay, I'm confused, but the principle is everybody pays the rate, but in the special case that they have
Mhm.
high thing and it's promptly taken care of, then we'll take care of it. If it's an accident.
Right.
Yeah, they're not entitled to,
Yeah.
you're right, we could say no to a request. Just, even if it's, the first one leak, we can say no because they didn't take action to really deal with it. I would say if it spills into the other one, let's not worry about it. Not give it to them. They're not, we'll see.
You're squared away on the car wash.
Well,
Well, that's
I
this.
don't know.
Right
we
now,
haven't given authorization for her to go ahead automatically
No,
to
I
approve
don't-
the
I don't-
second
I don't
adjustment
think,
if it
I
goes in.
don't think we automatically approve the second request.
Okay,
And
so,
I'm not even gonna worry about it at this point. Let them
Okay.
come to it.
Yeah, they have to ask, would need to.
okay,
ask.
so you at this point are granting him the $4,290 executive car wash.
$4,290.44.
Just
That's what you
Yes,
said it was
that's
comparing to 1 year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Period. That's it. And
So
as
we-
we're considerate, that's done.
As far as we're done,
Okay,
he can argue that it
okay,
went into May as part of 1 week, but we'll deal with that later.
okay.
Okay, but is this something we take a motion on, we do a motion on?
Or is that a consensus item?
I can get to do it by consensus.
I would think so too, but I just want to
So you
make,
make a
You
note
can
that
put
by
in the minute by
consensus.
consensus, the commissioners agreed to the adjustment of $4,290.
By
And there was one where, actually,
Committee agreed to grant the 1 leak. Cool. Okay. Then the next one we have is Lowell and Molly Spillane, not to be confused with Chip Spillane. Lowell and Molly at 63 South Main. A leak inside the water meter.
So Tucker Spillane is related to the Lowell and Molly Spillane.
There's Chip, there's Lowell. They both have the name Lowell. One goes by Chip, one goes by Lowell. I don't know.
But they're both, these two guys, Lowell and Molly, live with Tucker.
This is what I know. Chip Spillane, Lowell T. Spillane, who's about 60 years old, same as me, owns the car wash. His son Tucker owns.
I thought it was Chip.
He might.
Oh, there a Tucker?
Tucker owns 63 South
Okay.
Main, as well as perhaps the laundromat.
Okay,
And he owns 35 North Main.
okay.
They proposed.
So the one at 63 South Main, Lowell, whatever his nickname is, and Molly, they're looking for a 1 leak request of $1,785.09.
I think that's a good one. I think,
That's,
we can decide.
and replace the water meter and then fix the leak.
That's what it
It
says.
says Kenny came and fixed it and replaced the meter, which solved the whole issue.
Are we in
So is-
agreement?
So is the meter broken? They didn't actually use the water, right? Or did?
No, I think they used it.
Oh, the water went through. Oh,
Are we in agreement with the adjustment of $1,785? Do we give them a check back or we just?
No, it either goes as it goes as a credit on their account.
He won't be
Yeah.
paying a water bill.
No.
For 3 years.
No.
Well, did he, unless he didn't pay it, and then the credit will, so it's not like the money's out of his pocket, right? Did he actually pay $1,900?
I believe Executive Car Wash paid his entire bill, the 7,300, and he's going to have a credit. And I don't, honestly, at this point, I don't know what Lowell and Molly did. Now, my next, yeah, yeah.
Somebody paid 1,900 and they really don't pay.
100.
Yeah, 100, they should ask. If
Well,
they
they get
don't,
their
that's
money back.
fine, it doesn't matter.
Next one's the Apple guy, right?
Clinton Bedell. Woody alerted him to a leak when we were reading the meters back in last week in January. On March 16th, he came, stopped by the office and requested an adjustment, and we did adjust his bill $653.56. The next billing cycle that went February through April, he got a bill for $2,315.12. So it's 1 leak, 2 billing cycles.
Did he ever do anything at any time to fix this problem?
I believe this is all part of the same leak. On 7/21, I spoke with Ross Billings from Lloyd Home Services. He said he inspected the house and did not see any wet spots outside and did not see any signs of leakage. And he said, so whatever Mr. Bedell had done on his own fixed it. And then when
I'm sorry, but he fixed it when?
March, which was,
It's a second leak then.
no. November 1st to January 31st, one billing cycle overcharged him $600. On March, which we're now into the second billing period, he gets another bill for $2,300. So he came to us after the second billing started.
But when you were reading meters in January, it's like you have a problem.
It was the last week of January, though. In
Oh.
February, that's when he found out about the last week in January.
Right.
Okay, so
So,
the next billing cycle is February through April. Now, the question is, did he wait an inordinate amount of time to fix it? That would be the question. But you think it was fixed in March?
I said on March 16th, Mr. Bedell stopped by the office, paid that $600 in full, and at that time he requested an adjustment. And I think it was a week or two later, I got a handwritten letter from him saying that he had made the repairs on his own.
He may have had trouble employing somebody to. make
Oh, yes,
finding somebody.
yes.
As Kaya alluded, I spoke to him on whatever day it was.
Yeah,
He seemed responsive, but maybe a person of limited means and. ability. And as we all know, under good conditions, finding a plumber is.
yeah.
In the winter especially.
Yeah.
And there have been some people that will not go into his home.
why did Ross Billings on July 21 go to inspect the house?
They were the only ones that would agree to go to his house. And even he said he will not go into the house.
Okay, so he went in to like verify. for
Right,
Clinton
and he
that
said there is no leak at this
looks like
point.
you-
Yeah.
whatever. It's
Right.
clear.
I'm not sure, and it sounds fine. So 2,000, that's a significant amount of money.
And he did, Mr. Bedell did come in for that bill, for the 2,300 bill, and he gave me $85 and said, that's what you're getting.
How much does he, I can't tell from this necessarily how much, oh, he uses 300 tier one billing, 300 gallons per, is that per day? Or is that total? Down at the bottom, you've got water at tier one, 864. Tier one billing.
Yeah, it says in the billing cycle, February through April, he used 50,300 units of water.
I understand.
Yeah.
How many units does he usually use? That's what I'm trying to get at.
$8.64 worth.
Well, that's what it says. In other words, in 3 months, he only uses 300 gallons?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna guess
probably.
his usage is very, very low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's fine. I just want to make sure that if we looked at other, other bills, when before the leak started, what was he paying?
He would be typically.
They go about $88 is what I've seen.
Minimum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I want to make sure where is this?
Duxbury.
With all the lawnmowers across the school.
Okay.
He sells apples. And he and his son collect every junk. And all the lawn sales around and then just store it outside their house. Well, I don't know what's inside, so. So we okay with, rebating this $2,226? And hope this is the end of it.
Oh, I really hope so.
Got that, Kyle?
By consensus, yeah.
Didn't estimate that I would have taken so much time.
And you have a way of tracking these, so. There's a red.
Well,
check.
funny thing, there is no way of tracking them, so I've just been putting in them in the billing system as a note, but there's no way I can, like if you said, who's gotten 1 leak rules this past year? No way to track that really.
Probably ought to just have a 5 and a
Yeah.
spreadsheet with the names.
Yeah.
Or at least
Well, but 3 years from now, we might not.
whenever you do a 1 leak rule, you go to the website and search 1 leak rule and all of them should come up. I don't know, but there really should be a spreadsheet.
Yeah, just keep a list somewhere, you know. Thank you.
That would be good. And that way, that would help if you had access to that. If somebody comes and asks in person, you might refer to that list and then you could have a quick conversation with that. You had one already, 3 years ago, and that's not going to qualify. Just really speed up things and make you feel more.
Yeah, we may just need to clarify at some point, does it go with the person, does it go with property? Somebody who owns multiple properties, do they get just one, do they get one per property, do they get one person? We don't need to do that now.
The policy is very vague from my standpoint.
I'll put it on the agenda for the future.
Okay, do that.
Moving on, view the corrections to the annual report Bob was working on, but you haven't arrived at what the amendment would be for the annual report thing.
Yeah. Great program. Yeah. This, appears to be a set of revised numbers here as part of our package.
Yes, I did print out the document that was supposed to be included in the EFUD annual report in its entirety, of which only 2 pages got put into the EFUD annual. Can't explain why. But the information is accurate to the best of my knowledge. And the 3rd page, or the last page of that you have, is the page that was missing.
Is that this thing, Woody?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have asked Wes to include it in all the copies that are in the vault. How he chooses to bind it or do that is his business. But it is not unheard of to pull out whole reports and see something pasted over the, or typed in or handwritten saying, so.
There was the revenue for the water and sewer budgets.
Bill is in the process now of looking back at all the transfers, water, sewer, town
Yeah.
that are supposed to have been made and should have been made. He's in that process.
Well, when we get through with that, we'll have another amendment to that.
Or there'll be clarification, I guess, as to what it is.
And this is important, what the budget was not that.
So, I mean, if you think the last page that says we have $1.5 million is important, yeah, I guess, yeah, it would be nice that it's in the report.
Yeah. I'd say that, continuing to mark up the file copies. And with this, there's the other thing. Might not even be necessary.
So you're still working on that?
Yeah.
What Bill was doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can let us know when he gets it done there. So Bill, Chiplet is still working on it with Bob and Woody.
Correction.
Still working on more corrections?
Corrections
Right on the
to
page.
the annual 2025.
Right. So the third page you're adding and you're saying Bill and Woody are still working on more corrections.
Clarification. Next up, the duties of the district clerk and treasurer. You had that on, you thought somebody had written up something, but then it wasn't, so.
Yeah, what I read was more geared towards the town clerk and land records and other functions. So we don't have a job description, for lack of a better term, of the clerk and treasurer for the EFUD district.
If we were to write one, who would do it?
Well, I think it can be very simple. I don't think you need to debate too much of it. We've been functioning now for a number of months without a clerk, so I don't think the job description should take us a long time to write what we want, but yeah.
Makes it, maybe just, interview like Carla and Aaron, just because part of the description should include about how much time, expectation of time. It's not a full-time job, it's part-time. But just asking for some highlights so that it's a place to start.
Mm-hmm.
The main two functions are the elections and the annual meeting, right?
Right. And we're preparing for both of those things. So like, no sense of like,
If we had a bond vote,
All votes are.
or we had to call a special district meeting.
and then the qualifications for doing those things, like, know how to like, what they have to study up on from the municipal, state government for how to run these elections. Will could speak to that, not Will, Wes can speak to.
I think technically the only qualification for the clerk is they have to be a district.
Oh, but they have to know how to properly run an election, right?
Well,
So,
Nobody's gonna know that till you've done it.
yeah, okay, well, it's just sort of, it's part of the description of like duties, what are
Well,
you doing?
duties are one thing, but experience is another.
Yeah,
Okay, if the person's gotta live in the district, we
there you go.
cannot restrict.
Well, I was,
You know,
and I voted yesterday, I saw Tom Stevens, wife is there. If we don't find one before the annual meeting or elections and things, you'd have to kind of appoint her to be a temporary clerk to run the election. She was like,
I'm sorry, who is?
Liz Schlegel.
Okay, Liz.
yes.
and that brings up, I guess, the question of if you want to change that residency requirement. Requires a vote to happen.
Well, I
Which
think we
portion
gotta
need-
go change our charter,
Yes, a vote to change your charter to make sure that happens.
opens up a whole. You gotta go back to the legislature to get your charter. That's a pretty lengthy thing. Barlow said if we wanted to have a clerk that lived outside the district, we had to go call a district meeting and get approval to do that from the people.
Well, we can do that at our annual meeting, and then we have to wait another 6 months before we get to the legislature. Yes.
Then to have your vote, you need a clerk to run the vote. We don't have a clerk, so, yeah, I mean, yeah, just small, like, I can work on a job description for the clerk.
Okay.
Maybe Karen would read that.
Carla might have some, I like,
Yeah.
Carla might have some.
Paula, yeah, yes, she's.
So you
Yeah, I'll tackle the
try
job.
to come up with something and, include the treasurer as well.
Yes.
When Gracie begins, your obligations as interim town manager nominally end,
Cease.
but I imagine there's gonna be some.
Yeah, we can talk later.
Yeah,
I mean-
assisting, yeah, that's good, it'd be nice when you don't have so much on the
So,
plate.
yes.
When does the new one start?
Gracie joined us at a staff meeting this morning and she starts on August 24th. So we had our monthly staff meeting in this room.
So, a week and a half.
And she was here.
No, she's
Oh,
provided
oh.
soon. She's packing and loading up and getting ready for the cross-country trip.
You see a family that's moving here?
She has family and dogs. Yeah,
That's, we heard about the dogs.
yeah, so.
Okay.
And they've got housing, right?
I didn't get in, they must, they're headed this way, so, yeah. Yeah, she sent
Living
it,
in Waterbury?
no,
Curiosity?
I don't believe so. She sent a nice care package last week with some cookies and other things. The staff already likes her better than they like me, but.
She likes snacks, she said
She did say-
publicly.
she said
So,
that,
yes. Any person that likes snacks, I'm a fan of.
Well, why you say that, just to make this about me, my son hiked the Appalachian Trail in 2017 and did the other 2 long hikes in the next 2 years. You know, you have to have a trail name. Everybody has a trail name, and you sign in at all the places that use. So there's a record of Paul's name, snacks,
Snacks.
and he didn't pick it. I mean, it was like, this is the guy with all the snacks.
My son did that. His name was Beef Stick because he had this big beef stick that he had.
That's great. That is great. Beef stick.
Next up was the VLCT and disadvantage advantage RFP, and I had originally emailed Bill Frazier if he could work on it. He had deferred me to the VLCT municipal section, which we traded emails. Karen Ramsey, and she thought we were looking for a merger study. So I explained it wasn't a merger study, and she offered to meet with myself and whoever else would like to help. So, you know, she's waiting for us to say who is going to meet with her and set up a time. So,
I'd be happy to join in unless someone else would.
anybody else want to volunteer? You want Rick to, I can set up a time and get a draft from them. That
That'd be fine.
So we go to Montpelier and meet with them? That'd be nice, yeah.
will happen.
Then we can go to Red Hand.
So you can note that Rick and I will meet with the VLCT. Her name is
Karen Ramsey.
I'll leave it to you to set it up. I'm free most times.
Yep. Next up is draft of the letter to the Vermont Attorney General on the designated water and sewer funding accounts according to the statute. Rick and I had originally talked to Jim Barlow, and he drafted a letter that we only got just a few days before our last month's meeting.
And we weren't happy with it.
We since talked to him and revised it, which was sent out with the minutes. Bob has some thoughts and suggestions? Do you wanna share your thoughts or?
But, I was saying that as it's written, there is some small possibility that they would decide that not only is it illegal for us to have it this way, but we have to give it back to the people who gave us some money. So as I think about it, that's really unlikely. And I'm happy with the letter as written.
Okay. So you're okay with it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, I think it's important that we kind of agree that we'll live by whatever the AG says. And
I'm not gonna agree to that. Not for a moment.
well,
No, I mean, I wanna be clear about this. We're asking them for their advice because Bob wants us to. I don't think we need to. Okay? They come back and tell us something. We may think, great, may satisfy you. It might not satisfy me. It might not satisfy you. But what's important here is the AG doesn't regulate us. They have no authority over us. It's an advisory opinion. We don't have to comply with what they say. Now, we can argue with that. We can, when it comes to the, when they come back and say, you need to do such and such, we think you need to do such and such, then we make a decision about whether we do it. So I'm not going to sit here today and say that I will agree to do what they recommend. But that's just
a
my
poor choice of words.
Okay.
But it's a good one, a good clarity piece.
It's an advisory opinion.
Yeah.
What would happen? Imagine they said something that they thought we ought to do. And we still felt that there was wiggle room in the law. That would, or at least some of us would. And we didn't do it. We just kept doing something else. The only way that we'd be held to account for that would be through our voters or through someone taking us to court. And then we'd go through the judicial system, and then we have to obey what the judges say. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
That's totally fine with me.
Yeah.
That's the way the process should work. I'm sorry to get a little worked up here. I just am not gonna.
Just put in the minutes, Rick Weston has refused to accept the.
Don't say a word.
State of Vermont.
I said, see attachment.
Yeah, so, no, but I just wanted to be clear.
So here, there's a sentence.
And I agree with you. I think there's very little risk.
That would show up in the next AI search like Bob found that.
Okay, well, thank you. We'll,
Well, hang on one second. I just want, it does say here in the letter, a written opinion from your office would assist the board in assuring that its revenues are accounted.
just say that we would do it, it just
Right,
says
but-
it would help us. That's all it says.
Do you want to leave it to say that a written advisory, opinion or something to
No,
that, like
no,
how
it's
it's going?
an advisory opinion. They have no authority. They're not,
So that would
that's
be-
not. No, and that, by the way, that wording is blowing us. The draft, the letter that he wrote us. I took his language, at the beginning and the end, and then. I felt strongly that we quote the statutes in full,
Yes.
so there's,
Homework's
nobody's.
done.
So the homework is done and they know we've read it and they have to read it and so on. And then we have the one question. Please tell us what you think. If you're all happy with that, Skip, you can send it.
I moved it, we authorized 50%.
Is that a motion?
That's the motion.
The letter, a letter, you want to be in the motion, you want to be a little good. A letter
Yeah.
requesting an advisory opinion from the Attorney General on
Designated water and sewer reserve fund.
designated water and sewer reserve funds. That's good.
Say that again? Now, is this Bob saying this or Rick saying this? Okay, yes.
And
What is it gonna be?
We authorize, I move that we authorize it to sign the letter to the Attorney General on designated water and sewer reserve funds.
Requesting an advisory opinion on designated sewer and water and sewer. reserve funds.
Bob made the motion to authorize Skip to sign the letter to the Attorney General's
General
requesting
and advisory opinion
an advisory opinion. Yeah,
On designated water and sewer reserve.
designated water and sewer reserve funds. Okay?
Rick, second.
I seconded it. I would actually say the motion should say send the letter rather than sign it, but sign is fine, sign is fine.
Yeah.
I didn't do something for it.
Yes, all right, sign it, but don't send it.
You'll get the letter and send it here.
Yeah.
Natalie?
Yes, oh, yes, oh. We're going to vote, aren't we?
Yes.
Oh,
I
okay.
just.
Huh?
Make sure.
What a surprise. I'm all set, yes. I'm set.
Motion has been made and seconded to authorize the. Says Skip, but the chairman to sign the letter to the AGs about an advisory opinion on designated water and sewer reserve funds. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes, so.
I was gonna suggest that we send this along, otherwise the guy's gonna look at the annual reports. And
I don't think they're gonna look at anything. They don't need to look at the reports. The question is about statutory interpretation. I wouldn't send them anything. We said if you feel, we did say if you feel you need more information, we'll send it to you.
okay,
But it would surprise me if they come back with an opinion that is informed by how much money we're talking about. It's a statutory interpretation. If they say, it looks like you got a ton of money, and maybe you ought to do something with it. That's gonna be weird. I mean, I think it's the statutory interpretation. What do the statutes mean? They say nothing about levels.
okay,
But we did say we'll send them that information if they want.
We'll see what they say. They may not even want to write to us.
Well, let me tell you,
you're gonna find $1.5 million that disappeared. Let's look at the annual reports and we'll be up to our elbows in FBI agents. But yeah, don't worry about it. Never happened.
I'm not worried about that at all, especially if they look at our minutes and it says we found a mistake in our annual reports. I mean, I'm not worried about any of that.
Moving right on.
They don't here. No municipal officer has been sent to jail in Vermont for trying to do his job.
Is the faithfully, openly schedule of the next watershed meeting. Woody has a little update on activities up there.
Well, let's start with where we are, and then we can get.
So we're gonna talk about this and realistically, it seems like October would be the
October.
last time to have the next one, because I've been up to my neck in work and also these things, so.
Yeah. And people will be back from summer. The summer's been rough and I've been pretty busy with the house, so.
we do.
Did we do it at the fire station?
Well, we will in the next couple of weeks, get back together with David and iron this out. Ben and Jerry didn't get back, so I gotta follow up. And others, we got an interesting, I was very happy to see an email from Valerie today. She personally doesn't think that there should be recreational activities in the watershed. It was just an aside in the email about the website. And I thought, great. So, you know, we have local folks.
We got some
Speak.
voices.
We got some
speaking,
voices,
So
it's
that's
great.
good. It's good to have people.
Yeah, well, make sure she's aware of the meeting.
And, yeah,
I thought that was great. we'll get this going. It's been a long and busy summer. Sorry.
I do think, I don't know, who updates our website and stuff that I forwarded that link to Valerie. I don't know if it works. And I have no idea how we post that link on our website. And then what section do we want it to be under? Is it under the new section we kind of created there with comments and things?
Probably should be. Yeah.
But
Cheryl, has Cheryl been doing that for us?
Yes, we had not put anything up because I was under the understanding I was waiting for this board to tell me. Put the document up. That was, I think that was perhaps June's EFUD meeting, where I think I was waiting for that, so.
We're all comfortable with the report.
there's two things. There's a PDF of the paper copy.
Yep.
And then there's three things. There's kind of it looks like a PowerPoint presentation of their talk. Then there's the Orca recorded meeting.
And the Orca one's already up on Orca's website. I found it.
Right, and should we put something on our site that our meetings are recorded, but you gotta go to Orca to find them?
Yeah.
Why not? Yes,
Is
absolutely.
there something
I
there?
think there already is.
There is, yeah.
It's not options.
But we can say, we should spend some time with our website.
So you have a good point, though. Who is doing, who at the town, I guess, this is one of those shared
There's-
activities?
There's multiple people who can add things to the website. Technically, Cheryl's has a communications function to her job description, and as well as her zoning duties. But as you are aware, Cheryl is a town employee, not a
Yes,
people employee.
exactly.
But yeah, to get it up on the website's not that difficult. As I said, I was just waiting for. When we all watched that presentation in May, I was under the understanding it's like, okay, looks good, but let's read it and make sure there's not any inaccuracies there before we put it on our site. So I looked through it, I thought it was very good, and I have no issue putting it up. So
I've read it and I would love to see it up on the website.
And while we spoke here, I mean, to Valerie's point on website stuff, I contacted Cheryl and said, make sure Karen's name's off all the stuff on the website. And she said, she sent me a message back 5 minutes later. No, so.
Right. Good. Good. Well, then, should we say by consensus, the board is instructing Woody to put the link to
Add those two links.
add those links on the presentation to our website?
Yeah.
That'd be great. Thank you.
And you wanna share the latest report?
Yeah, I mean, Rick had contacted me shortly after I got back from vacation. Somebody was riding their bike through the waterworks and they spotted a vehicle that they believe
Somebody
is,
was riding their bike.
no, through the waterworks on the road.
Okay, thank you.
And they spotted a vehicle that they believe the individual was up there cutting trails. The person perhaps has a history of doing such things. And this conscientious ride on the road biker told us, what he thought was happening.
Okay.
So I contacted the state police. I have yet to hear back from the state police, our state troopers, as to, I don't think there's anything, we catch him in the act, but I asked that, they see what this guy might have to say for himself.
Good, thank you.
So that, you get in a minute, we're looking for a date in October for that.
October would be the best time to have the next public informational meeting on the watershed.
Right, got it, good.
And then by consensus, the board is instructing Woody to add 2 links to the website for the watershed presentation.
For the UVM watershed presentations. presentation, yes.
And it was 2 links, right?
Yeah, one is
One's a story map,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
there's
other
a
is the
key.
is the report.
PDF of the report.
The East Wind project, we talked about at the last meeting, getting a change order.
Yeah. I apologize, this was not in your packet, but this is the amendment number 1 to the engineering services agreement from Dufresne Group. With regard, yeah, we did not. Do this. This is the amendment number 1, which they said, we'd like to get started on, but of course, Woody, you haven't signed the original agreement, which was from 3 months ago, so we can't really amend something we don't have an original agreement to. So that's all signed and delivered to them. But now we have amendment number 1, which will cover the engineering services for the additional work from McNeil out along 100. And I think it's timely that you're meeting now and that this project, if it is going to progress quickly, this portion would need to be approved and authorize me to sign.
So this amendment's for $41,300. 50,000 of it was to do some site management drilling in front of the Sunoco station because there was a spill there a number of years ago.
Right.
The good news is the groundwater flow is away from Route 100, so it's probably not going to be an issue, but you do have to go through that exercise of having a subcontractor to come in, poke 3 holes and send.
Okay, so this is, just make sure I fully, this is additional work for on the other side of the road,
Engineering work.
engineering
Yeah, we have yet to have a price from the contractor.
for the actual.
Yeah.
And when we say engineering work, now I'm just asking, this is
Yeah, the 15,000 for the soil management,
Right.
for the layout of the pipe.
it's
and
prep stuff.
Yeah,
Yes.
and construction services during the build.
And all the permits.
Yeah.
Right, construction services being overseen, yeah, that's what we talked about. Okay.
So it's, amendment 1 is from Dufresne Group for additional engineering work on the west side of Route 100? Okay.
This is monies that are coming from, well,
From our
the leftover, yeah, from the, in theory.
You wouldn't happen to have another
So I-
copy of that,
I
would you?
move-
So I can include it?
So if we, do this, we don't go to bid again,
Thank you.
but we negotiate a price to do it.
This is, it's not a negotiation, it is.
No,
No.
for the construction work.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
sorry.
But so you would want a motion, I move that we authorize.
Rise.
Get that in the,
Cindy is recusing herself. We say that after. Okay. I move that we authorize Woody to sign amendment 1.
Yep.
With Dufresne Group for to the engineering services agreement for the East Wind water system extension
dated August 4th.
dated August 4th. Now,
I need to recuse myself.
Cindy recuses herself.
I second the motion.
The motion has been made and seconded to authorize the interim district manager to sign the amendment to the owner's engineering agreement with the Dufresne Group dated August 4th, 2026. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
So just a couple of other things on the project. At this point, there's been roughly $60,000 in change orders. That represents 5% of the construction contract value. And the change orders have been for tree clearing, changes in alignment and associated blasting because of the discovery that some of the on-site systems were not where they were going to be. And that's it at this point. Going forward, I am a little nervous, about being able to get this change order approved by this group. Because we are pushing the fact that we have to use the money this calendar year for one of the two grants. In reality, the change order will not be priced probably until within the next 10 days or so. So that means it would come to you in September.
So do you want to have a special meeting?
Special meeting?
I don't know how you want to do it, but
If time's of the essence.
No, I think we
Let's have a
gotta
special
hold
meeting.
a special meeting, and that's only 24-hour
Notice.
notice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't wanna lose
No,
that.
I think
That's
that's-
really important.
important to do it, I'd like to, get it across and whoever.
Yeah. We will jump when you say jump.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Woody. Thank you, this is
So when do
great.
you think the trailer park will get connected?
Well.
Well, they're waiting on some parts for the PRV, which is the last connection before the trailer park. The state, of course, has to permit all these things to happen. So they thought the parts were shipped,
They're supposed to be shipped this week.
so.
This is a specialty valve. And because this is a Buy America, Build America project, any specialty stuff takes long. Yeah,
So, yeah, and they have no crew on site anymore, so they'll have to bring some guys back for that stuff.
And the other guy that had to have this fire tank and stuff, he isn't connected up.
Nobody's connected except our people who are our original customers. We rerouted them onto the new line. And a point of just interest that the other day, one of those existing customers that's tapped off the new line said their water tasted a little funny. To give your crew a lot of credit, they went up, tested the water. It had a high pH, 9.8. But we're thinking the cement lining on the ductile iron pipe, just with that water sitting there. Yeah, but for one, it's very perceptive of our customer to notice, and it was great. Our guys picked up with the test.
So
So,
will that flush out or something?
Yeah.
yeah.
so this flow.
Yeah, it just needs to flow. Yeah.
And have you had any bites, interest from other residents that are nearby that might?
There's been some interest, and with a couple homeowners who are just basically waiting, trailer park and the chocolate factory guy and the people on Route 100, if we can get that portion to
Get closer to,
get closer.
but we can't get quite all the way, but it will.
And to Dufresne's credit, even before the signing of this engineering services agreement, they've started all the permit work. Most of them are in review now, so they didn't wait for the signature to start their work, knowing it was time sensitive.
Good. Next up,
Chip program?
CHIPS program, you nominated me for the housing committee. And I've spent a lot of time educating everyone what EFA doesn't do and what it does do. And Woody's been in a number of programs where we talked about this CHIPS program. It came up at that Moortown Duxbury meeting, Community Housing Infrastructure Program, which is I don't know, Community Housing and Affairs, I guess, came up with this program to encourage housing that the town has to adopt some rules. I'm not sure exactly what the rules are for housing that lets future tax benefits from the housing can go to pay off the loan. If a developer, where you have to build a lot of infrastructure, roads, water, sewer, whatever. So they keep asking, EFA, gonna be okay with this? And I said, okay, wherever you go, they're just gonna have to build it. And things, and I don't understand the taxing part, but Joe Camerata, who's chairman of the housing group, knows this pretty well. So I was gonna invite him to our September meeting to brief you guys on the CHIPS program, because the town hasn't done anything yet.
No.
Everybody's talking about Stanley Watson site as being, this CHIPS would be a factor in that. I said, it's not a great project because there's not a lot of infrastructure to build for it. There's not a lot of roads, water, sewer lines are not 10 miles away.
And I don't think I understand what you mean. Why is that make it bad because of the funding?
Well, the developer is not gonna have to spend millions on infrastructure.
Right, because the infrastructure would be paid for through,
No, there isn't a lot of infrastructure to build.
At the Stanley Watson,
at that location. I'm just saying, what CHIPS is, I really don't know. CHIPS
Community
is,
Housing Infrastructure
but
Program.
what taxes will pay off these infrastructure
Education
things?
taxes,
Property taxes? This is.
I don't know about property taxes, because the state doesn't affect your property. It's taxes that the state.
Oh, the
collects.
state taxes where, that's their internal sort of, the use of the money that they collect, they want to create this new.
Can go back to pay the.
Okay, I
loan.
thought it might be something to do with Waterbury
No.
property taxes.
No.
Okay,
State level.
Would do that. I think they have to designate where they want the housing to be.
okay, and they can help afford the costs to make.
It's supposed to be an incentive for the developer to use this program and locate there because he could get CHIPS money to help offset his. So.
Yeah.
I think,
Let's hear about it, yeah.
the biggest thing we can do is say we'll set aside 50,000 gallons of water and sewer, wherever you wanna go, you get it.
Yeah, and the CHIPS program can help pay for the extension of our services.
Well, yes, but it's
That's not our
pay the developers.
Right, but I mean, all we have to do is participate by saying how much allocation is there that we have to, know that we can supply. I get that. But, yeah, so somebody will pay our bill. Yeah. We like that.
There's a lot of information online if you want to.
It's time.
Webinars and all sorts of things that the state has rolled out for these skips. Exactly right. Stanley Watson's not an example at all. But if to say a farm or at the end of Lincoln Street, Al Kelly's property, places where you might have to extend the town road, extend the sewer system, extend the stormwater, those are more, in my mind,
Mhm.
examples.
So how does Woody Avenue fit into that?
There's a little bit of sewer expansion that would happen there, but that's, yeah, small.
I have been hearing from other municipalities, public works directors, that they are concerned about this program because there's so much pressure
Mhm.
that,
To build housing.
yeah, that they may be pushed into doing rapid fire expansion of water and sewer systems.
Fine.
Because developers are really excited about it.
Yeah.
It's just,
Are there some communities that build the water and sewer? That is not the developers?
I don't know, it's usually the developer that
Yeah.
does it.
But it's still a capacity question and
Yeah,
and
and
it accelerates the, investment in new facilities and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's a long-term planning question that, that one wants to think about. Absolutely.
There's probably not many communities that are in the same situation we are with the capacity of the water. Right. Sitting there. We could use a food custom.
Well,
but Chittenden County municipalities have, especially on the water side, they
Yeah.
have other capacity.
Skip figured out how to get the government to pay for the same stretch of pipe 3 times right down that corner of town. And
It was only twice.
He may be able to get them to pay for it the time.
It was only twice.
that's, and no time do my fingers leave my hand. Okay.
And next up, we haven't signed our rules and procedures, but there was one thing that the select board does that I took notice of.
I'm for it.
It was when I assume we let people into this room. I'm not sure we did today.
We didn't let them in.
You got to
We
let
did.
everybody in?
No, today we didn't because we.
Yeah.
Because we are just one of them.
Right.
That they have to sign in with their first and last name in order for them
Right.
to let them in. Because we've had some people who just had an initial or something up there and we'd ask them who they were, they didn't say anything. So whether that was something we want to put into our procedures to get into the meeting, you gotta at least know who was there. That's another thing I think we need in the minutes is who attended by Zoom. I don't know if you.
Yes.
I always put them there.
Okay,
I'm all for adding this. I would change the second sentence, but I'm all for adding.
But does it, you're getting a name, but there's no other identifying, like e-flood customer or address or anything?
Well, we never ask the people.
We only do at our annual meeting, of course. If you don't know somebody,
well, they get.
you have to ask them and say,
Right,
can you vote? Where do you live? And all that.
right. We have, during these meetings, we haven't.
Yeah, I mean, anybody, it's a public.
Everybody is welcome, I understand that. I just thought maybe, for perspective, that
It was my understanding we couldn't ask. You needed to identify yourself if you wanted to speak or participate. But if you wanted to be in the meeting, don't have to identify yourself. That's my understanding of the.
Oh, well, then we would want to change this. Zoom attendees who wish to speak must give their I would just say, give their first and last names and turn on their cameras. That would be the line. If
It might,
if you're right about.
yeah,
I agree, actually, because we have people come in here, we don't tell them, it's only when they speak when we ask their name. Same thing there. So,
I attend a lot of virtual meetings on contentious issues with my work. And there are people that will not identify themselves. They just lurk. And that's really tough sometimes to have that happen. And I don't know how you can enforce it. I think it's a great idea, but I would love to hear VLCT's legal opinion on it.
oh, we'll ask them when we're there.
Yeah, do it, please.
So given what Bill said, I think that's right. Zoom attendees who wish to speak must give their first and last names and turn on their camera.
Yeah, I don't know, and I may not have copied what some of the select boards typed
But we know that.
actively.
Camera website. So turn on
Get found the website.
Yeah. We haven't signed this yet. That could be added to it and then I can sign it.
Is that a motion?
I move that we,
Hold on,
oh,
hold on. Rick moves.
okay, who typed this?
I did.
Okay. So I move that we add to our
Rules and procedure.
to EFUD's rules of procedure. The following.
Following, yeah.
Zoom attendees
Mm-hmm,
who wish to speak
yeah,
during a, you call these board meetings or commission meetings? Who wish to speak during a board meeting must give their first and last names and turn on their cameras
When speaking.
when speaking. When speaking. Now, believe it, I don't mind leaving it like that. But the only thing is, it's possible that camera doesn't work. And I just said must, so,
Or they don't have a.
or they don't have a camera, and that happens at times. They're on the phone. Must turn on their camera when the camera, we can put parenthetically, if available. After the word camera is put in parentheses, if available, when speaking.
Like, and with an A.
No, her name
You're-
is there too.
Her name is there, well, her name is
No,
there,
no,
but she goes, when she
but if
speaks.
she's got a camera in order to get an A.
Oh, I see, I see. She can turn that A into her face.
Well, yeah,
Otherwise.
Yeah, we don't
it
accept
just-
the A, we, they're emojis.
right, but if she said, I can't find the camera button, we'd let her speak, because we all know that. So if available, I think is a qualifying it. Could be abused, but I'm not worried about it.
We do need to correct an important misspelling in number 8.
That's,
It's at 28 North Main Street, not Mason Street.
that doesn't need to go in the minutes,
But
Kai.
let's just make sure that's.
That's just a, yes. Typo. Fix your typo.
Yeah. So is there a second to Rick's motion?
I'll second it.
Motion seconded by. Cindy? You got it in? I got it. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Motion's been made and seconded to amend the EFUD rules of procedures to require the giving of your first and last name and turning on your camera if you wish. For Zoom attendees, to give their last name, first and last name, and turn on their cameras and available if they wish to speak at an EFUD meeting. All those in favor say aye.
I.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Next up is possible joint meeting with the select board. Couple, 3 weeks ago, I got an email from Martha that wanted to invite EFUD to their meeting for 10 minutes just to share what you were thinking, and I thought about that and said, I don't, to myself, we shouldn't be going there as a board unless we're in a board meeting of our own. The open meeting law says you can't have a meeting unless you have an agenda that you have to do, so, I think I copied everybody that, you know, anytime more than two of us go to a select board meeting, I think it should be a board meeting, so, and I was a little annoyed. She said that we only had 10 minutes, but she wanted all of us to convene for 10 minutes at a select board, and I just kind of thought, you know, Woody's there, or I could go and update him on stuff without requiring all 5 of us to be there just for 10 minutes, so.
I read that, what you sent to us, and my gut was, she understand we're a municipality too.
She does, but she just wasn't, yeah. No, my feeling about this is I really appreciate the reaching out, wanting to understand what she's got. And I totally appreciate Skip's reaction to, which it didn't come to my mind immediately. So yeah, let's have a joint meeting, and I'm happy to keep it 20 minutes or 30. It doesn't have to go on forever. I mean, it goes too long, we'll start talking about all kinds of things. You never know what'll happen then.
You know, and I think maybe, when we get our, whatever criteria and rules for the watershed are gonna be, we might have a meeting to brief them on what it was gonna be, and maybe this chips thing, if they decide where they want them, you know, what we could talk about. So I just wanted to see what you folks thought, that we were in agreement it should be a warrant meeting.
Yes.
Have an agenda. You know, that, like Rick said, you know, we're not like these other boards.
That was the point you mean. I had told her, she had mentioned it to me before she reached out to Skip. And I had said, you know, we are a separate municipality. We're not like the Conservation Commission or the Planning Commission. But I didn't say anything more than that. I didn't really think it, you know, I didn't say, so it's, you know, what I think I did say, I think Skip's gonna have an opinion about it, is what I think I said. And, you know, being summoned to the select board was not the feeling that you want to convey. But it was fine, and, you know, she's been knocking herself out. Look at all the stuff on their plate in the last 6 months.
There's probably things we ought to tell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so when we do, we should think about what we want to say.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
So
It is.
with that, department reports.
They look good to me.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned, maybe I missed reading it, but it seems like there's a lot of time being spent on hydrants.
Oh, that.
Well-
that
And
was-
weeding around them, and winter shoveling them out. And
It's like your dental hygienist who spends a lot of time flossing, you know, you got 5 members on the fire department over your water and sewer, so.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so the hydrants do get very well, they were actually today digging the hydrant down at the ice center, which is NPD for some strange reason. But yeah, it's that kind of, you know, when, you know, dental hygienists are flossers, because that's what they care about, and firefighters care about fire hydrants, yeah.
Well, it is public safety.
Yeah.
But they need to also keep their eye on the regulatory aspects.
Yes, no, yeah, I
Make
agree.
sure the consumer confidence report, that's how
Yeah.
it's supposed to go out.
Was there an official switch from the red and white hydrants to the red and black hydrants, or you just had black paint?
No, that was their choice, I don't micromanage the hydrant color. Yeah, but like I said, I mean, I can remember back to 30 years ago when every hydrant was rust color, you know,
Yeah.
and the caps never came off, and you know, most of them weren't fun. I mean, most of them, honestly. We had the water to go with, you know, and I will say the attention to detail they show now, a lot of times just spinning the caps off, greasing them, putting them back on, putting markers on the hydrants, all,
So greasy bearings.
yeah.
What we should do is build a town.
Picture of his cousin that worked.
Yeah, yeah.
All dressed up.
Yeah.
His newly painted hydrant.
Well, you might want to, I don't think they heard you.
What?
Say that again.
We should send the town a bill for the work that they put into that. Even if they don't pay it, you know, but it just, you know, it's the town function,
Yeah,
whenever we do that, we should get paid for this.
Send them a bill and say, this is our charitable contribution to the town of Waterbury. That might be the better way.
And we're putting up the new hydrants.
Yeah.
And, you know, Route 100, and, you know, I'll make a little attention for that. Make sure people remember that we are good stewards of community, and
Well, some,
Cheryl is doing our website.
Right,
You know,
I mean,
just.
Yes, that's one of the things we want to say to them. Is, we're not billing you for the hydrants. Consider yourselves lucky.
Right.
No, I'm,
well, in the past, we've always kept track of when there's a major fire in the town, how much water was actually used. Never sent anybody a bill, but we kept track of it just out of.
that's
We
actually.
track the pool water, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The
That's
town
it.
pool.
we bill them for the pool.
We do,
Oh, wow.
yeah, although we never used to,
Then we definitely keep track.
Yeah.
we never used to bill them for the wastewater. For some strange reason, but yeah, that's all.
Yeah, there's,
Well, some towns have a hydrant tax too.
Okay.
There are things, yeah, some towns, charge for sprinkler connections. We do a lot of those things free.
We, yes, right, for the DAC row and that sort of thing.
Well, no, like the Squire House has a sprinkler line attached, your neighbor. So there's that ability to have that.
He's the person who lives next door to me. I wouldn't have called him my neighbor.
but that's a private thing. That was a private enterprise, right?
Yes, but it's the ability, having that sprinkler connection and having that water available to you.
Yes.
provided
Is
by-
the sprinkler connection separate from the,
Yes.
okay, that's why.
But some municipalities will bill for a sprinkler connection differently at a much higher rate than they will for the residential connection.
Yeah.
We treat our hydrants under the 1 week rule. Oh,
Under department reports, talk to Woody there, it's kind of a UDAG thing, which is, in the past, Bill Steplick there had kind of adopted the standard legal form that people sign to get their loans. And Woody, I talked to somebody, it's been a month since we approved that loan, and he's had, I don't know, one attorney, Barlow, didn't want to do it, somebody else that, he wondered if we would say okay to using those standard forms to do the
Bidwell.
loan that we did for the Bidwell instead of doing individual attorneys every time. We used to have the loan recipients pay the legal bill stuff to be with that. So, I don't know if you wanna.
No, I'm comfortable using the same forms we've used for the 9 or so other loans we had out there without an attorney looking at them.
Did an attorney look at the original one?
Yes, it was developed by attorney.
Well,
And
then, okay.
then Jeff left down and said, you know, we keep paying the same old bill every time, and it all they do is
So
change the date, so. if we're okay with that,
Yeah, we've already authorized him to sign the to make the loan, so yes.
And yeah, to Tyler's point on the UDAC stuff, he said this is kind of unusual because before he got his loan, when he got his other loan, he said, I didn't meet with anybody.
Yeah, that was,
So he said, this is all new to him.
well, this is,
just turned it down on what, didn't they?
I don't.
They did, yeah, they came back and then the committee,
We want to hire an expensive chef or something.
yeah, the committee said we can't really recommend, so that's,
yeah,
you know, why it never came to us.
Oh, and to the UDAC stuff, while we're here, amps, the treehouse is completely paid off their loan.
yeah, isn't that great? Big check,
How much was that?
25 grand, wasn't it?
Somewhere in that neighborhood. Yeah.
Excellent, I guess, that's, that'd be good.
I haven't had any amount of money against.
Yeah.
Well, you did, you did that, you got $25,000, Bob.
Yeah.
And you won. It came back.
But yeah,
Yeah, no, that's,
And also for a future agenda item there, the coming up of the ice center.
Yeah.
Another period that we ought to begin.
Yeah.
I don't know whether we start talking to the committee about, the loan
Is that
committee.
September, it's not this year, it's next year, right? Or is it this year?
Yes.
Oh, it's this year?
what, in a month?
No,
Wow, I thought,
you
No.
think it's 26? I thought it was 27.
I think it's,
okay, that, I don't, I was under the impression it was coming right up.
Wow, well, that's not good if it was, if it is, but if it's a year from now,
we could,
we should start talking to them
yeah,
and the loan committee. Well, the loan committee.
I don't think the loan committee,
has anything to do with it, that was all
Yeah.
us
They
and,
have nothing, and they're busy on, well, we might want their advice, but they can take a look at the financials. We're gonna want financials, we're gonna want all kinds of.
what it is, I'm not, well, it's just to talk with them to say that we've had a big hiatus. We want you to be prepared that we have expectations of, you know, that this is gonna
They're-
start up, and they can respond with whatever
Well, that's
they
right,
respond,
but- They're gonna,
and we can
I
get
fully
the
expect-
committee to help us,
Yes,
because they are the
yes.
body is an advisory,
yeah, so that's all true too.
so.
But I agree that we should go to them soon and say, we're expecting you to start paying.
You should be looking at your finances, how much.
Yeah.
Can pay it off, don't the, your story about you need 2 ice rinks to make any money?
Yeah, my son has spent half a lifetime in hockey rinks and was interested in business. He says it's not possible. There's no business plan that succeeds in the long term. It doesn't have 2 rinks in the bar.
2 rooms in a bar.
2 rinks. in the
Yeah,
bar.
that makes sense. No, I
And
get
so
it.
in order for these guys to make it, they're gonna have to really be
Get a liquor,
creative, so.
then you get a liquor license.
Yeah.
But no, I get it. No, I fully understand. Yeah.
One of the
But they
things-
do have, from what I hear is just anecdotal. Just like no time, no available ice time, so that means people paying, are they paying enough? I mean, they have to have a business
If
plan
they
that,
don't,
you
if they
know.
don't have revenues to pay back their loan, then they're not charging.
Yeah, or not having enough people to
Right.
bill, but I understand that they're very, very successful with interest and, but I don't, that's anecdotal.
Yeah.
And it's nice news to hear, but maybe they're not doing so poorly.
I'm sure they're gonna come. We'll see. And there will be people who think they shouldn't. Be. I just, listen. But we should, so let's find out. It should be September 27 and let's,
That would be a good time.
that would be a good time to get them, let them know that we're watching.
It's not all that often, so they gotta put, you know, start.
We still
Plug it
get
in.
it down. Still,
yeah, I don't know if Jonathan Siegel and Mike Thompson are still big in.
Bob Farrar was one of the board members that.
Yeah.
That's,
Well, we'll check on that. We
Yeah.
talked about
If you go, I'll send an email to you and
it. Move to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
I second. We're right on time, exactly on time.